all the way from West Africa, Ghana, living in Europe. Shout out Jay, shout out Robert. You know, we can't do this without you. You know, we can't do this without you. You know, I call my first 50 peep. I'm proud. You know, Jay. How about I get some dog like yours, man? It's just gonna sit right here. You know, one love, guys. Team Take Profit, Jay. Guys, I wanted to show you something, man. We're in the live trade. We're in a live trade, 170 euros in profit. You know, we ain't playing. You know, this is a setup. You know, we're learning hard. You know, we're playing hard. We're grinding hard. You know, we're chasing our dreams, man. Remember? Remember why we started, eh? Yeah? Remember why we started? Remember why we started? This thing is dropping hard, man. It's dropping hard, man. 300. Dropping hard. You know, we ain't playing.
Team Take Profits. The movement is real.
Team Take Profits on the move. The movement is real. 50 pips a day. Watch the money drip. Pips pay my bills. Pips pay my bills. Pips pay my bills. Pips pay my bills.
All right, guys, so thank you for tuning in to part 2. I know on the first video I didn't really elaborate as much as I should or could have, but nonetheless, here's part 2. And what we see right here is the home screen, and this is the pie chart. So if you go to the multi time frames, you got the 15-minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. It's these pie charts are showing you the strength and weaknesses of each currency according to that time frame. Now, to be honest with you, I really don't use this. The only one that I really use is the strength. But I will tell you that a lot of people, well, not a lot, but some people use this 15-minute one for scalping. And it's a whole paperwork and checklist that you have to use. The theory is this, by the ones that created it, the theory is this. They keep track of the time zone, and it's basically called currency strength analysis. All right, and they keep track of the time zone, and they know basically this thing switches over every 15-20 minutes. And so when I saw what they were doing, it was so complicated. It was so much paperwork involved. It was so many checklists and confirmations. It was just too much, bro. It was too much. So I couldn't really get down with their scalping strategy using this pie chart. But nonetheless, if you're really scalping on like 1 minute, 5 minute charts, which 1 minute is crazy, but I know a lot of people are, you can use this as your entries. You know, you find the weakest to the strongest and compare it. So you got CAD, JPY. So right now, that's the CAD is the strongest, and you would match it up with, I think it's a JPY, and you should be looking to buy CAD JPY because CAD is stronger. So that should be going up. All right. Right now, it just switched over to USD JPY. So what should you be doing? All right. USD is bigger. USD is the base currency, so it should be going up. USD JPY. So let's go to the chart and see how effective this is. So let's go see. So let's go to USD JPY. There we go. And bring up the currency Heatwave, multiple time frames, and click on the 15-minute chart. So USD JPY should be going up, and that's what you see. So you want to time it because this thing is going to change. All right. So what I recommend is finding a trade setup. If you're a scalper on the lower time frames, you should have some kind of trade setup, or you should have some kind of strategy that you use effectively, right? And then, or some kind of rules that you follow according to your scalping strategy. Then what I think that you should do is pull out this 15-minute pie chart, all right, and then look and see the strength and the weakness of that currency, and use that as the last confirmation of entry. If USD JPY, if USD was weaker than JPY, then maybe you might want to hold off on your entry, because there may be a pullback coming. You understand? So that's how I would use that. I don't use it that way. So, and you can form all kind of strategies. You got to back test it. If you want to do something with the hourly, you know, it's the only limitation is your creativity with this. But whatever you decide to use, you have to back test it, or whatever strategy you try to come up with, you have to back test it to make sure that it's something that wins a lot. All right. So the way that I use it is this. And the reason why I don't use that pie chart, because it's forever changing. It's always changing. I'm not like a scalper like that anymore, like I once was when I first started. You know, I'm more like a day trader. So what I use is the strength meter. All right. So let's look at the strength meter. Let's blow it up. All right. So I gave you a moment to look at it. Look at GBP odd. What do you think that currency is doing right now? GBP right here is at a 3.43, a 3.4, and odd is at a 8.4, 7.8. All right. What do you think is happening right now on the charts based on this? What's happening is it's dropping. I can look at this and see that it's dropping. So the Australian dollar is stronger than the Great Britain pound. All right. So it's dropping. Now let's go look at that and confirm. So let's go over to GBP odd. And there you go. And that's a 5-minute chart. Let's go to like a 15. Let's bring up the currency heat wave. Currency heat wave here. Bring it to the side. And there you go. So GBP odd. GBP is what now, if you had GBP at a 4 and an odd at a 4. So if you had GBP and the odd at the same number or close to it, you wouldn't get any big movements. That's basically mean consolidation. So that's what that is. So when you see them both at the same number or kind of around the same number, I wouldn't do anything with that until one gets stronger than the other. All right. But do not try to find trades based off of this. You may get lucky and then you may lose. It's not going to be consistent. You need to use this as a confirmation to whatever rules that you already have. The difference of strengthness. What do I look for? So you see this is an 8 and GBP is a 3. Odd is an 8, GBP is a 3. That's perfect. If you can find that situation, that's perfect. Now, if it was a 7, if odd was a 7 and GBP was a 3, that's good too. But if odd is a 5 and GBP is a 3, that's not good. That's not good enough for me as a confirmation for entry. All right. That's not good enough. So let's now look at GBP Jpy. GBP is 3.29. JPY is 0.57. So they're both pretty weak. Let's see what that looks like. I'm thinking that this may be more consolidation. This might not be moving as much. Let's take a look at that. So GBP Jpy. All right, let's look at it. So GBP is at a 4, stronger than JPY. JPY is at a 0. And you can see it's been going back and forth. It's been going back and forth. So, but it is pushing up because GBP is bigger than the JPY. But you see what's happening here. It's really not much going on because it's not that big of a difference. JPY just switched to a 1.43 and you saw it wick out. So the stuff is live. You got to get used to it. You got to get used to the timing. You have to backtest. You have to play around with it. This is not anything that you can just jump in on your first day and just try to make some money off of it. You have to backtest and practice with it in demo so you can learn the ins and outs of it. Learn how it functions. Learn how it moves with price action. All right? Nothing is going to be 100%. But I will tell you, if you master the technique of this and the timing, and what I mean by it is using this as a last confirmation for entry, you should already have your trade ready to go, your plan. You should already have your plan where you're going to enter and exit and stop loss and everything. You should have that plan. And then the last thing you should be waiting for is this currency heat wave telling you that, hey, we're ready to buy, or hey, we're ready to sell because this currency is stronger than the other. All right. Now, it's no need to make a part 3 and part 4 to this because volume, I don't use this. Look how much it moves around. You know, it's jumping around all the time. I'm not really interested in this. I don't, maybe somebody else know how to use it. It's not consistent enough for me. Same with volatility. These little bars always keep jumping around. It's nothing that you can hang on to and count on. It's always sliding and moving around, as you can see on the screen now. So I don't mess with these. Now, what I will look at sometimes is the sentiment. If you know trading, you understand that market sentiment is very important. All right. So look at GBP alt. So GBP is at a 51, going down for the bears, and alt is at 64. All right. So it's basically saying that alt is stronger. It's basically confirming the strength meter. All right. That's if you get both of these lining up, that's strong movement. Those are the only two I really look at, is the strength and the sentiment. Okay. So if you got GBP weak here, alt strong here, matching up with this, because sometimes it won't match up. All right. This will just be temporary, and the sentiment stays a little longer than the strength meter. The sentiment is like the overall. It will stay at these percentages a lot longer than the strength meter. The strength meter turns over a lot. After about, so often the market wants to pull back, the strength meter will change, telling you to get out the trade. So also as I touched on that, GBP alt, let's say for an example, let's go back to GBP alt. All right. So let's say you was in for a sale right up in here. You wanted GBP to be weak. All right. And you wanted alt to be strong. And then you would basically ride this out and hold it until GBP gets strong again. When you see the Australian dollar getting weak, you take profit. Move up your stop loss. All right, let's say you have a stop loss in place. Move that up as price drops. Now you got a stop loss at break even, above your entry. Your entry is about up in here. Move the stop loss as it drops. And, you can take partial profits. You got a lot of things you can do to manage your money. As it's coming down here, how many pips would this be? From entry, for an example, from entry to down here, that's 30 pips. So you want to, lock in some profits and try to see if it can keep dropping for you. Or you can just take profit altogether and be done with it. But that's basically how I use the currency Heatwave app. All right. I don't use the currency strength indicator anymore with those colorful lines. I don't use that tool. I like the currency Heatwave a lot better. All right. And you do have to pay for this. I think it's like $20. And I think it's definitely worth the investment. I use it every time I trade. All right. Every time I trade. And I think it's worth the investment. They also give you news alerts I don't really use it for that, but they do have that. They tell you what's going on in the markets and everything, so that's pretty cool. Like far as US, the Asia, the London, they give you news updates, so that's pretty neat that they're trying to stay on top of that for you. All right, so this is my account here. I do want to show you that I do use it, and you know, I'm not just talking, but you know, I'm actually using something I'm telling you about. Basically, everything that I teach you guys, I do. All right, so this is a trade I was in, GBP odd for the sale. That's a 20. That's a $200 lot size, and so you can see I'm in profit, and I want you to see the currency heat wave as I switch to it. All right, look at that. GBP is at a 0. Odd is at a 7. A perfect situation. All right, I already knew my setup. Where I was going to get in, get out, take profit, stop loss, everything. And then when I saw that GBP was so weak and oil was so strong, I went for it. I pulled the trigger. All right. And so I just wanted to show you a live example, me getting in where my entry was and everything and seeing the numbers rolling, you know. So I just wanted to give you that example. So team, I hope this helped you out. I hope this video was informative. You know, kind of get you a better understanding of how I use it. But what I would like for you to do is you can take it how I use it, but don't be afraid to play around with it and find your own thing with it. That's the beauty of this. That's where the art form comes in. When you can take something and then make it your own. It's a beautiful thing. That's why trading is like art to me. It's not just the charts and finding the patterns, but it's how you form your strategy using different tools. It's just a art to me. You know, I see trading a little bit differently than most. It's like art. So again, don't forget to like this video, comment if you have a question, and subscribe. And let's make this money, baby. Peace.
50 pips a day, watch the money drip. 50 pips a day, watch the money drip. Pips pay my bills, pips pay my bills, pips pay my bills, pips pay my bills.